All right, so here we have a 2006 Honda Ridgeline. What we're going to be doing is the rear brake pads and rotor. We have a little metal-to-metal contact. Our pad, well, it's missing there on the inside. It's pretty metal-to-metal. All right, so we want to go ahead and remove our caliper. All right, so we have a 17mm bolt here as our slide and a 12mm bolt on the side. So we need to hold this and loosen this, both top and bottom. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our caliper up here so it's not hanging by our hose. All right, so here's our pad that was metal to metal. So it was just catching the corner there. All right, so the next thing we need to do is remove this caliper bracket. So there's two 17mm bolts in the back here. We'll go ahead and loosen those up. All right, so now it's time to remove our rotor. There is a screw right here. We're going to see how loose it is. They do make an impact screwdriver that you hit with a hammer. Oh, there we go, so it's not tight. Sometimes you have to use that tool to get these out. Oh, there we go. We don't even need to hit it. All right, so there's our, well, there's where it was wearing our rotor out. But this is our disc brake, or this is our our drum brake, and this is what's for our emergency, our emergency brake lever. This is our emergency brake, basically. All right, so here we have our new rotor that we got from Auto Parts Direct to Use. So I'm just going to spray it down with some brake clean to get any kind of anti-corrosion stuff off of it from the shipping and the boxing process. So I just have some brake clean. I'll go ahead and just soak it down. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit the pads with some brake clean too there, the shoes. All right, so I just want to line up the screw to one of the holes that will accept the screw there. All right, so let's see. All right. We'll go ahead and put our screw in. Let me show you something else here before we put it back together. All right, so I just removed this little plug out of the other rotor. It's what goes right here. All right, so what that is, to adjust our brakes. All right, so we'll rotate that all the way around so the hole is towards the bottom. We're going to stick a screwdriver in, and there's a little ratcheting piece to the brake shoes here that spread it, so that would tighten it up. So to adjust our rear brake, we would want to stick the screwdriver in through that hole and then rotate our star down here, and that's how we would adjust our rear brakes. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our rotor on. Here, so we'll go ahead and put our mounting bracket back up. All right, so here we have our new pads that we got from Auto Parts Direct to You. All right, they come with new hardware. All right, so we're going to go ahead and push our caliper back first. All right, so this is a different style tool to push the piston back into the caliper. All right, so we'll just go ahead and gotta feed it back. All right, so now we want to replace our hardware. All right, so go ahead and pop our old ones off. All right, pop our new ones in. All right, so this is our indicator to tell us the pad is no good. Look, that one was snapped off. It should go down past the pad a little bit. That would tell you before it's metal to metal. So this one broke off and that's why it stopped squealing, or it was driven so far it snapped it off, one or the other. All right, so we know this is the piston side. All right, so we know that this pad goes on the inboard side. All right, so we know this goes on the inboard side. And then our outer pad. All right, now we want to bring our caliper back around. All right, we've already checked to make sure our slides are all working. That would be where you want to put grease inside there. If your slide's not working, that would keep the pad from wearing evenly. All right, so you want to make sure they slide. All right, so we'll go ahead and put our bolts in. All right, so now we're ready to go to the other side. All right, so now we're all done with the brakes. We'll go ahead and put the tires on. The one thing we need to remember is before we drive off and put it in gear, we need to pump the brake pedal to get the piston to suck up all of the extra clearance there so the brakes actually do work once you use them. So just a couple pumps before you back out and give it a test drive.